From the gateway to showbiz glory, this is Hollywood 411.
On HBO's True Blood, vampires and humans live amongst each other, but there are lines that must not be crossed. Our next guest struggles with that every day. Joining us is Ryan Kwanten, who plays Jason Stackhouse. Welcome, Ryan.
Why, thank you very much.
It's great having you on the show.
Yeah, we love those fine lines and crossing them. I think
Yes.
my character dances all over those lines as much as he can.
I think he does too. Now, you have such an interesting story. You're Australian, as we can hear from your accent.
Apparently, so they tell me, yeah.
I think it's interesting because you got started in acting when you went along on an audition that your brother was having. He must be
Yeah.
pretty bummed about now. How did that happen?
Well, I was always into sort of sports, I still am, and I was on my way to swimming training, like you said, and my mum was dropping us off, and my brother, who was a dancer at the time, wanted to get into acting, and it just so happened this acting agency was on the way to swimming training, so to cut a long story short, they ended up sort of dragging me into the room, and I ended up getting in, and he didn't, so.
Wow, he must be
Right
bummed.
place, right time.
That's going to inflame some
He's
sibling
finally forgiven
rivalry
me.
right
He's
there. What's he
finally
doing
forgiven me.
now?
He's a composer. He sort of composes for Sydney
Okay.
bands, and
This
he's doing very
different
well.
aspect of entertainment, and here
Right.
you are on this hit show on HBO. You guys just got picked up for a second season.
It's unbelievable.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And now you have such a fun character to play. I mean, you seem very different from Jason. I mean, he's sort of this bad boy. Yeah, from the very first episode, he's been in all kinds of trouble. I mean, he's suspected of murder. He's addicted to V-blood, which is vampire's actual blood, right?
Right.
And what else have you got going on? He's battling with local vampires. I mean, do you see him continuing down this path?
Yeah, I mean, Jason is just one of those guys who really just does shoot from the hip. I think we all know someone like that. I mean, if you're standing at the edge of a cliff with Jason and you tell him that there's $1 million, or even better, like a beautiful girl standing at the bottom, he will jump off, no hesitation. So,
Right, no fear.
No fear, yeah. So, I mean, he's constantly treading that line of exhilaration and like death.
Right.
And he's, like I said, dancing all over in between that line.
I want to talk about his specific character a little bit more,
Sure.
him as a character in a second. But what do you think this public fascination is about vampires? Because it seems really like right now that's going on a lot, both with the success of your show and the Twilight books that have been got a movie coming out recently. Right. What does the public say to you, and why do you think that they identify with vampires so much and find them fascinating?
I'm not necessarily sure what the public thinks, but for me, I think it's the level of intrigue goes so much as they were once human themselves. So they have human qualities, but they just have this sort of extrasensory perceptions and, you know, otherworldly qualities to them. Unlike a superhero who, to me, seems out of our reach.
Right. And what about the immortality aspect of it? Like your sister's dating a, what, 147-year-old vampire that lives up the block?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the immortality? Do you think that that's one of the enduring appeals of vampires?
I guess, you know, it's something that when I am confronted by fans, that they know a whole host of these things that I just really, not that I don't do my research, but Jason's not supposed to know any of it, so that's my cover.
Right, right. Now, one thing that they know about Jason is a very fit guy, and we see him in a lot of scenes.
Yeah, I'm not. He is. He does.
Well, by default, you are as well, obviously, and they show you partially nude or naked in a lot of these scenes.
Right, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, you look great, of course, but how is that for you? I mean, did you know that going in, that you would have these really explicit scenes on the show?
I knew it going in, and obviously I was putting myself in the careful hands of Alan Ball. So, you know, Academy Award winner, you can't really go wrong with someone like Alan. I've said it before and I'll say it again, the guy is a genius. And so it was never going to be nudity for nudity's sake.
Right.
It always feels like it comes from the, you know, a story point.
Right.
So.
And I don't have a lot of time here, but of course you're prepared for these nude scenes physically because you're a very fit guy.
Where you were going to go with that.
Well,
prepared for what? What am I going to do?
Well, I mean, prepared in the sense that you are a really accomplished athlete. You love to do triathlons and biathlons, which I'm not even really quite sure. I'm sorry to say that I don't know.
It's triathlon without the bike.
Without the biking part. So tell us a little bit about that, and you're a yoga instructor as well. And
yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your...
You've done your research.
Yes, I have.
I try to keep this all very quiet, but you've done well.
But why keep it quiet? It's fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Well, I grew up on the beach. My dad's a world champion longboarder for his age, so it was just sort of naturally in the blood. I'm a very, very competitive person. I hate losing at the best of times, which is probably why it's good that I found an art form to get make my career in, because otherwise it would have been tough to sort of constantly deal with this winning a lot and losing thing. But yeah,
Wow.
I've always been interested in it.
Well, we're enjoying seeing what a great job you're doing on the show, and we will keep watching. Ryan Kwanten, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks, Madison.
True Blood airs Sunday nights on HBO at 9/8 Central.